back to Belgrade. It's the 2023 World Championships. I'm your host for the UWW Roundup show, Eric Wanowski, joined alongside Olympic gold medalist from Rio, Erica WIEBE. Tonight, we're going to look at the 53, 62, 68, and 72 kilo finalists. We're going to talk about the move of the day, the match of the day. We're going to get Erica's closing thoughts because this will be the last show she's here with us in Belgrade. But without further ado, let's talk about the sneaky storyline of the day. Buse KAVUSOGLU TOSUN of Turkey winning 4 matches in dominant fashion.
And dominant she did look indeed. She had a win to start the day against the Moldovan world champion from 2021 at 65 kilos. No matter the weight class, no matter the year, it's always nice to start off the day with a win against a world champion. And then throughout the rest of the day, she just absolutely crushed it and had a final win, 11-1 against Amit from Japan, which again is a huge win and a huge momentum going into the finals.
Let's talk about Jamila Bakberganova in the Nike move of the day, presented by Nike Wrestling. Go to uwwstore.com to purchase your UWW Nike merchandise. Erica, walk us through this crazy double.
Yeah, Bakberganova gets kind of extended early on in that initial shot, and then she kind of picks her way up, gets her head to the outside, and drives through with some huge amplitude to do a 5-point double right to her opponent's back. And touche pin, match was over. That was it.
And I'm going to ask you something a little off the record. Probably shouldn't be asking this, but we'll just say it. If you get 5'd, do you want your opponent to help you up?
If I got 5'd by you, that would never happen. But you know what? I think the sport of wrestling, it's a sport of respect. Out there, you know your opponents have been through the ringer to be there. You know that there's just so much respect and so much effort that goes into every single year, every single quad, every single journey to get onto the mat. And so I loved seeing that mutual respect. And Bakberganova, checked on her opponent. She knew that when she hit the mat, it echoed through the arena. It was a huge takedown, and she showed some respect, showed some concern for her opponent, helped her up, and I love to see that.
And transitioning, 5 points on the board for Bakberganova, but we're going to talk about 5 points on the board for Lucia Guzman of Ecuador against Akari Fujinami of Japan in today's match of the day. Took that early lead. Talk about that match.
Yeah, what an incredible match. Guzman came out firing. She got the takedown early on. She built a lead, and then Fujinami was just unstoppable, clawing her way back. She took the takedown early on in the second period, got the laces, extended her lead 14-5. And you know what I really loved is Guzman got right back up and got a takedown again. And so the final score was 16-7, but we really saw that Guzman's grittiness, her agility, her ability to really take it to any single person at the weight class, regardless of the flag on their back or the name on their back. And that's what I love to see, and that's why Guzman is a true competitor at this weight class.
And a couple great points I was going to ask you. You like to see her not wrestle the credentials, you like to see her not wrestle the Japanese flag, and you like to see her, even after you give up 14 unanswered points, come back, fight, and get that extra takedown, even though she ended up giving up the touche, as you mentioned. But let's move to tonight's finals, where we're going to crown the final 4 women's champions, and we'll start at 53 kilos with Akari Fujinami taking on 2-time world champion from the neutral athletes Vanesa KALADZINSKAYA. Moving to 62 kilos, 2-time world champion Aisuluu TYNYBEKOVA will take on Sakura MOTOKI of Japan for gold. At 68 kilos, we talked about Buse KAVUSOGLU TOSUN of Turkey. She's going to take on Delgermaa ENKHSAIKHAN of Mongolia, in the 10th and final gold medal bout will be Davaanasan AMAR of Mongolia wrestling reigning world champion Amit ELOR of the United States. Erica?
Is it time?
It's time. Let's run through it. Let's hit these picks. We're going to start with Fujinami or KALADZINSKAYA, both world champions. Who walks away with gold?
Well, I learned my lesson yesterday at the finals. Never bet against Japan, and so I'm going to have to go with Fujinami. She did have that early points against her, against Guzman early on in the tournament, but she is a class of her own, and I think she's going to take it against KALADZINSKAYA.
So at 62 kilos, you're saying MOTOKI is going to take out TYNYBEKOVA and stop her from winning title number 3?
This might be the one that is different. However, you know what? I'm still gonna go with MOTOKI. I think that the Japanese women are, really showcasing their skill. They swept all 4 golds yesterday, and I think they're gonna get 2 today.
Buse TOSUN, she picked up the pin, 8-0, 11-1 win. Does she close this thing out and finally win a world title?
I think she finally does. I think she does. Yeah, she's my pick at 68 kilos. It's so crazy to think no one would have imagined these two in the final at 68. There is such depth at this weight class. Although, Tamara, I do miss you. And let's go. I think we're going to see Turkey win a gold medal.
AMAR or Amit ELOR for the 72 kilo gold, final gold medal match.
You know what? It has been such a joy to watch. I mean, ELOR. I think she's dynamic. She's young, up and comer, and I'm gonna give this one to Amit ELOR.
We didn't talk about this pre-show. Where do you think she goes? Is she gonna go up or is she gonna go down for the Olympic Games?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's the question everyone wants to know. What, in your opinion, what do you think she should do? I should ask.
I don't know. I think she should do whatever she feels right for her. And it's just great to always wrestle with fun, with joy, and whatever that looks like. It's always that interesting thing at Olympic weight classes. Athletes have to compress up or compress down to the Olympic weight classes, and lots of things happen. And so best of luck to everybody at all those weight classes.
Kennedy Blades, you talk about Kylie Walker, you talk about Adeline Gray at 76 kilos for the United States. If Amit ELOR was to go up, that would be 4 world champions at age group levels or the senior levels at one weight class. The depth of the U.S. is crazy, especially in women's wrestling. Go ahead.
It is, but that's experience that Japan has had for so many years, for decades, and it's just something you have to deal with in the sport, tough weight classes. You know, I think about early on when I wrestled at the University of Calgary and we had Olympic champions in the room, world medalists, and so, you know what, iron strengthened iron, and that's why we see so much strength on the Japanese women's side and on the U.S. side.
Speaking of strength on the Japanese women's side, they lead here after being in 3rd place on day 5. Day 6, they take a commanding 25-point lead over the United States heading into the final day of competition on the women's side of things. They do have 2 champions, so worst case scenario there, they get 40 points if they win 2 silvers, but if they do exactly as you said earlier, they'll pick up 50 points. But the United States, as I mentioned, in second with 100 points. Rounding out the top 5 is going to be China, Ukraine, and Mongolia. Erica, let's get your closing thoughts before you get out of here.
Yeah, it's been an absolute joy to work with you, an absolute joy to cover probably one of the most exciting 2023 World Championships we have ever seen. And you know, when I think about it, this year we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Save Olympic Wrestling movement. In 2013, wrestling was removed as a core sport, and we fought back because that's what wrestlers do. And I think wrestling really showcases the true grace, beauty, grittiness of humanity. And that's what's been displayed on the mats this week. That's what's going to be displayed in many, many more years to come. And I'm truly honored and grateful for the opportunity to help grow the sport of wrestling, to see the growth of it globally, to see the growth of it in women's wrestling. It's an absolute joy. I'm excited to be here, and I'll be back.
We're here and we're here to stay. We'll just say that. We'll end it tomorrow night in women's wrestling at 1800 live from Belgrade, the Stark Arena. The hashtag is WrestleBelgrade. I mentioned the start time already. For Erica WIEBE, I've been Eric Wolanowski saying so long, wrestling fans.